Say your name first.
Pat Masterangelo.
Where are you from?
I'm from Oshawa, Ontario, Canada.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
Over 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
And what tattoos on your arm here?
Well, I've got the Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation and Canadian champion.
That's sweet.
I left some room there for when I win the Worlds. It's going to go right there. I've been second at the Worlds twice, so I'm coming. Feeling good this year.
So South Africa, you'll be there.
Well, we'll see what happens. Hopefully.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I love my ARMTV.
I love my ARMTV too.
I love my ARMTV. Yeah. Mike Gould, you got to mention your name.
Mike
Mike what?
Gould.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
15 years.
How'd you get started in arm wrestling?
I just heard about a tournament at home years ago, and I thought it'd be cool. I checked it out. Loved it.
And I mean, how'd you do your very first tournament?
Not as good as what I thought I would, but I met a lot of guys that were involved in the sport, and they took me under their wing and taught me.
Were you always this big?
No. I was actually, for quite a few years, I competed under 200.
How often do you say you train for the sport?
Well, with my work and stuff, I don't get the opportunity to train as much as I'd like to, but I train. I get a couple days a weekend.
And how many tournaments do you go to a year?
You know, again, last couple of years I haven't hit very many. I've had a couple surgeries on my arms. I torn both biceps, but usually, you know, now I'll select 3 or 4.
And how come you weren't at Ottawa?
I had left bicep surgery. Yeah.
If you were there, how would you have done?
I'd have won.
You would have won?
I always win the nationals.
That was the world's though.
Okay.
So you're going to be in South Africa?
Probably not, no.
No. Why not?
I don't have the funding.
It's a long trip.
See, that's a huge trip.
How much does it cost to get over there?
I have no idea.
South Africa. They couldn't have picked a further spot.
No.
Maybe Siberia.
That's it.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
What's your name?
Anthony Dall Antonia.
And how long have you been arm wrestling?
2 years now. I've been to about 15 in the last 2 years.
Where are you from?
BC, Vancouver.
Vancouver. How far is the trip to come out here?
2.5 hours on the plane.
I was surprised to see you in Chehalis dominating like that. Did you know that you would win the overalls when you went down there?
I knew I'd do well in my class, but the overalls I wasn't so sure about. So.
Do you know who Alan Fisher is before that?
Yeah.
I mean, did you think you could beat Alan Fisher?
Yeah, I thought I was capable, yeah.
So, how do you think you'll do tomorrow?
I think I'll win.
You think you'll win?
80 kilos.
80 kilos.
Yeah.
Who are you looking forward to pull?
Mike Barrett and Crazy George.
So you have to pull Crazy George?
And George doesn't lose, so.
How did you start arm wrestling?
My brother and me, we met a guy named Bernie LeMay through work, and he's been Canadian champion, world champion, and he basically started training us.
So how often do you train for the sport?
Every Sunday we pull once a week, and then I do weights in between.
What's your goal?
Win a nationals this year, win a worlds, everything. All the big tournaments I want to win.
Do you think you'll be going to South Africa?
If I qualify, yeah, and I'm here to qualify, so.
All right, excellent.
Hi. Gary, don't you do none
Hey,
of
Dave,
that stuff to me.
so how many different teams are there represented today here?
The Northwest Territories aren't here, and I think Newfoundland. So I'd say probably 8. Eight provinces.
I'd say 8 too.
Yeah.
Who's favored?
Always BC. wherever, Vern.
We come in small numbers.
Wherever the one-armed bandit. Yeah.
We just.
An AD, aren't An AD. Yeah. Don't ask him. You ask
So you
the
guys
right
are from
guy.
the same province?
Yeah.
Who's on your team then?
We got there's myself, Anthony. Dave's not pulling today, but then we got Shane. We got Alan. We got Luke. We got John. We got another fellow from Cranbrook who's showing up here. I forget his name. So we got almost all the classes covered.
The Reimers are on your team too?
Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Nathan Reimer.
Nathan Reimer. And how long have you been arm wrestling?
Oh, since last year.
How old are you?
14.
So what inspired you to get started in arm wrestling?
Oh, my brothers, definitely.
Brothers? So You've watched them arm wrestle before? And
Yeah.
Did you know you always wanted to try it?
Yeah, I've been interested. They started about 6 years ago, so.
And they train you?
Yes, I arm wrestle with them.
How often do you arm wrestle?
About once or twice every week, depending. It goes off and on, you know. It depends how tired we are.
Can you beat your brothers?
Pardon?
Can you beat your brothers?
No, not unless they're really tired. I have though when they're tired, really tired.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
26 years.
And what's your name?
Laura Webb.
Laura Webb.
Yeah. Formerly Laura Singer. So
And you're from Alberta.
Alberta.
How often, you're a mom too.
I'm a mom. 3 boys. Neil arm wrestle. My dad arm wrestle. It's 3 generations.
I saw you at the Worlds. How'd you do at the Worlds in Ontario?
At the Worlds, I placed first in the disabled class, and I placed, I think, 5th in the open class at the world level.
And how do you think you'll pull today?
Today, I hope to get first again, redeem my title.
Do you plan on going to South Africa?
You betcha.
I'm mobilized.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Man.
You guys got some good polls going on.
Hey, thanks very much.
How you gonna do against
Big stud here? Ryan?
Ryan, how do you guys do this?
Just gonna spank him like a little punk. Come on down, Ryan.
Are you guys in the same weight class?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to go against each other?
We got each other next round.
Really?
Yep. It'll be a dirty pull. We both got a lot of power, and it usually ends up on a big deep hook.
You guys train together, right?
Occasionally.
You guys are on the same team.
Same team.
Yeah,
For sure. I'm better looking.
How's it going,
your
ARMTV?
energy.
Yeah, I'm a little
First match,
excited.
man, you finished that, that was
Yeah,
awesome.
well, I'm back. I had a bad year last year, and now it's time to redeem myself, show everybody what it's like. I'm coming after Solaris, actually.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Even Solaris,
Oh,
huh?
yeah, he's a cool guy. Good dude, but I got to get him.
I'd like to see that. He's mean with he doesn't like to grip up.
He's a bad man to grip up with. Don't you ever tell us. I know. It takes us forever, and he wants everything. But I'll be down in the States. I'm feeling good. I've been injured the past 3 years, so I'm coming back. Yeah.
Welcome back, brother.
Hopefully everything will go good today. Thanks.
Hey, guy. Things are going good. Things are going good. Waiting for the finals, big matches. So.
Matches are pretty good so far. Me as a referee, some guys come up there and they referee their own match. If I could tell the people, don't referee your own match. Let the referee do their job, and the competitors should be doing their own job as a puller.
It seems like hard to be a ref. These guys are.
It's tough. Well, that's what we do is try to do as best as we can to cover everything and see everything that we can. If we don't see it, we don't call it.
Forearm and hand strength, but I'm still not. My upper body strength, shoulder, and the lats are not there yet. And I can feel that. I can stop them, but
a lot
I can't
of
keep it.
the resources you have now don't work until after the start. You need some that can work during the setup and right during the go.
I can feel it in the setup.
You haven't had a chance to get your strength into the match.
Well, sir, you get the best sportsman of the day.
I was amazed. I couldn't believe it happened.
What do you got to do to get that?
I guess not swear or cuss when you lose at the table. No, pat them on the back. No, I really don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. So, thank you.
How long ago was Chehalis?
A month ago, yeah, a little over a month of July.
Do you guys, when you go to a tournament and then 1 month later you go to another tournament, do you practice in between there, or do you rest your arm?
Absolutely did no practicing. We did. I think I just gripped up, but I was still healing from that tournament, with especially the grudge matches that I did not want to do any more at all. So basically, it was nothing.
What's the deal? Like right here, when you're competitors, do you want to tell somebody your secrets?
It's funny because usually that is the case. You do not want to tell the secrets to your moves. But Luke and I don't know, and probably a few other people have figured if we want to progress in the sport, people have to get better, and if they get better, you have to get better to keep arm wrestling them. So, it's not very popular with some people to start sharing secrets, but I think it's only progressive to the sport to do that. So.
Now, who's older?
Luke's my older brother. He's 30. I'm turning 29. So.
29.
Yeah,
so has arm wrestling kept you guys close as brothers, or were you close already?
Luke and I were pretty close brothers. All our lives. I don't know. Like right now, we share an apartment. We work the same job. It's just we've been pretty close all our lives.
You guys do work. So what do you guys do?
We're paramedics, or also called EMTs. Yes, we're paramedics.
You help save lives.
Well, I guess it could sound like that. It's not always as incredible as that, but once in a while it might end up that way. So
I'm Mark Shannon, the Wild Man. I've been twisting for 23 years. If you can't make noise at a tournament, nothing's happening. Usually I'll come to a tournament, nobody's making any noise, so I come in and say, rev them up, let's get them going. And then before you know it, everybody's having a good time. Yeah, I'm the type of guy that's going to get you going. The Madman Shannon, I'll do her. If no one else does, I'll get you pumped.
Well, thank you very much. It really helps keep the excitement up.
Yeah, you'll hear me lots. Everybody thinks I'm a little loud, but what the heck, eh?
It's motivating. Now
You only live once.
You're from Alberta.
I'm from Alberta. Originally from Fredericton, New Brunswick, but I went out to Alberta and became a mountain man. And when you got to deal with the Rockies, you're in trouble.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
23 years. I started arm wrestling back in New Brunswick in 1980. I had the arm wrestling challenge. I used to go around New Brunswick and offer $200 cash prize if anybody could beat me. And Silvio Burke, I don't know if you know him. He's one of the popular guys here. Silvio Burke. Him and his brother seen a poster that said arm wrestling challenge. Anybody can beat this guy, he'll pay them $200. So they came after me, and I think I beat 15 guys in a row at the tournament, and took everybody's money and went home.
So have you guys seen the Chehalis video on the website?
I have. We've been watching it, I think, several times, and really enjoyed it.
Did you guys like the little commercial I put together? Or?
It was good. It was very good. Very good. We have the DVD now, and we'll be playing that and definitely showing it to other people. I think everybody will be knowing where arm wrestling, TV is now.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, take care.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
you
Thank
placed
you.
First, right?
First in right and left, yeah.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
4 years.
What's your name?
Will Sardi from Halifax, yeah.
Have you been to ARMTV?
No, I haven't. Oh, on the website? Yeah, definitely.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So you've checked out a video?
Yeah, it's a good website.
Yeah, that's cool. Right on. So
Kayne Hemsing. Well, in 2001, I went to Indianapolis World Police Fire Games, and
wait, you went there to arm wrestle?
yeah. Well,
How did you know
no,
that?
actually, I went into bench press and track and field, and they just had arm wrestling as a bench. So I'd always kind of did it as a kid and stuff. So I figured, well, I'll go in it, and did pretty good. I got fourth, but the guys that beat me weren't bigger than me. They're all smaller, but they had lots of technique and stuff. So then Ryan Espey was there, and he's a correction officer, so he was competing. He won his weight class. And so what I did was, he said, get a hold of Fred Roy when you get back in Saskatchewan, and he'll set you up, and you can maybe get going. So as soon as I got back, I got a hold of Fred. He came down. He actually put a clinic on in my town. There's only 2 of us showed up, me and that one other guy. But I learned so much from Fred that I really liked it and figured I'd start, try to get a club going. So I held a tournament in Moose Jaw, and that was 2.5 years ago. We had about
a tournament just like that?
Yeah, I went to a bar. I said, want a sponsor, and so we can put a tournament on, and he said sure, and we had a tournament, and we had about 30 guys show up from around Saskatchewan and Manitoba, and from there I just got hooked, and we had guys show up from everywhere, just because I put it on the websites and stuff, which is the way to go on that stuff, and then from there just started going to lots of tournaments, working with Fred Roy, and then Ryan, he'd come to my tournaments and stuff, but just in the last couple of years I've learned that if I want to get better, I got to travel, so I'm going to have to go to the United States. So the guys that have been going to all these tournaments are like Vern Martel, like in the West, like I'm in Moose Jaw in Saskatchewan, and so Vern Martel and Dave Hicks in BC there, they've been going to lots, so I've been teaming up with them, and went to the West Coast and had a really good time. I learned a lot. I got to pull John Brezink for half an hour, and just the stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
The West Coast?
Yeah. John and I sat down.
What was that like?
Oh, it's awesome. Like, I have a picture on my fridge with me and John Bullen, and everybody comes over, my arm wrestling guys, and they see it, and they're all excited to maybe come down. And now I got a club in Moose Jaw, and Moose Jaw is only 35,000 people, and I got a club of about 20 guys. And we brought 8 guys from our club, and we got, this is all our first nationals, and just, we came here to have some fun. And
how'd you find our website?
Mostly about when you guys were at the West Coast. I'd kind of seen on the thing, but I didn't know much about it. But when I seen you guys at West Coast and you guys were talking, you know, I got to sit down with Michael Todd and Eric Wolf, and what I did, the reason I went was because I wanted to see the best guys in like the 176 to 198 class, and I heard they were going to be there, and I think they're all there except Mike Solaris, and I'd like to meet him someday because, you know, I'm just getting going, but I know that I'm going to have to pull the guys in that weight class if I'm going to continue to get better, and to meet them, and, you know, and that's one thing about this sport. I can't believe I rodeoed for 6 years, you know, which is a tight, you know, and guys help you out, but, you know, you'll be pulling a guy, I can't believe you'll pull a guy, and then right after he'll pull you again, and, you know, he'll help you. You know, John was telling me about, you know, pulling back and how he does, you know, like dumbbell presses and stuff like that, and it's, you know, anything like that's going to make you a better arm wrestler. You know, and I tell guys too, it ain't all your arms, you know, you use a lot of your fingers and your hands, you know, and your upper body and stuff, and you only learn to be the best if you listen to the best. And, you know, and one guy told me, and I think a lot of people could say this and stuff, but you're only a good winner if you're a good loser. So, you know, and I think that's the best way to sum it up.
Okay, so one day you heard about his tournament?
Yeah.
How'd you hear about it?
He came to my school, and there was like a clinic and all that, and I was really interested because my dad was also in it. He went to provincials, went third back when he was like my age, so I thought I'd join it.
So how old are you?
17.
17. What's
Yeah.
your name?
Jeff.
Jeff. So he actually
He's a good guy that'll talk to you.
So you guys went to his school?
Yeah.
How'd you do that? You called? What'd you do?
Just went, like, what I did is, Fred Roy had said just go to the schools and, you know, do some clinics and try to get the interest in the high school so I get the kids. What it is just, what you're doing is just introducing the sport. You're telling kids that it's just like basketball, it's just like volleyball. What I do is I just kind of do some demonstrations, and then we just have all the kids come up and we show them the table, the rules really quick, and then, you know, we just do it through a course of a phys ed period, and then you run a nice little tournament where you have all the girls go against the girls and all the boys go against the boys. And some of the guys, you tell them after, yeah, we got a club, come out, we practice, this is when we practice, and then sure enough, the kids show up.
We try and put on a big show like the big guys too. You know, some of us like to ham it up. It was great getting together with Perry and being able to ham it up a little bit and get the audience involved. And you can see what type of response we can get from the audience by getting them fired up. And, you know, they're into this stuff too as much as we are. And
Come on!
you know, they probably wish that they could get their arms in there too, but they can't do that. The next best thing is out there and giving us their support, and you know, they have a love for the sport too. So.
Man, your guys' country is so united with the teams and the shirts and everything. The U.S. isn't like that.
Yeah, well, we have a good camaraderie between each other, and we don't get to see each other all the time. It's like the States, the East Side and the West Side. You know, even when I compete down the States, it's always down the West Side, where the guys on Eastern Canada always go down the East Side as well. So when we get together, it's once a year, and you know, we reunite our friendships again. It's like we haven't been apart for that year, and it's good to see these guys. You know, we can battle with them, and we know that's the guy we got to beat. But afterwards, it's all over. It's, you know, the better man won, and now you know what you got to work for next year to either beat that guy or look forward to who else is coming up through the ranks.
When you're on top, sometimes it's hard to have a goal because you don't have something to work for. I mean, you know, you're going to usually dominate. Hey, who would you say in the U.S. is in your weight class, like say you can meet up in the Arnold's or some big tournament, or the Worlds, who do you feel you could set a goal for in your mind that you could have a hard time beating and something to work for to try to, is there anybody in your mind?
Oh, for sure. You know what? There's not any one particular guy, because every one of those guys have earned my respect. And I don't take anything from any one of them. Any one of them can turn the wheel around, and they can come out on top. So you got to be very serious with what you do, as far as knowing that you got to expect the best from them, because you're sure you're giving them your best, but they're doing the same. And, you know, if I still look at it, RJ's had his few upsets this year, and he's had a tough go around with a couple of injuries. I would love to pull with RJ, yes. Yeah, love to pull with RJ. We got together at Arnold's afterwards. We never did get to meet each other. And, you know, sure, I beat the guys that beat RJ, but RJ got a little injured there. We pulled a little bit afterwards. It both gripped up, you know, and it felt great. We both felt very comfortable, so who knows how it would go.
Did you see his interview I just put on the internet?
Yeah, I did. Good interview. He's a great guy, and totally respect what he does.
Georgia's Ryan Espey, the monster in the yellow, the two-time defending super heavyweight world champion. Fairly easy win in one of his opening round matches. Mike Barrett, two-time world champion, 176 pounds, goes quickly through his opponent there.
Ryan Espey.
How long have you been arm wrestling?
Since 1997.
How long have you been a president of the Manitoba Association?
I think about 2 years.
What transpired from 1997 to the position you're in today? How much involved in arm wrestling did you have to be?
Well, I took on running a bunch of smaller tournaments, and I think from that, Terry just sort of was setting it up for me to be the president someday when he was ready to step down. And that day came, and he turned it over to me.
Who set it up?
Terry Debates.
What does it take to be an arm wrestler and the president?
It's a tough job, and it's a lot of time for not a lot of reward. You're doing it because you love the sport. You're not really getting anything out of it. If people think that we make a lot of money as promoters off these tournaments, they're dead wrong.
When you become president, do you set goals?
Yeah, one of mine was to run the Nationals, and we did that here this weekend.
So having the Nationals in Manitoba, does that help grow the sport in Manitoba? Does it help bring in new arm wrestlers? Or is it primarily for the existing base of arm wrestlers?
It's for the existing, but I think that awareness is a huge part. And a lot of people still aren't aware that arm wrestling is an organized sport. I think that this, with the media coverage that we got from this, it'll help that along a lot, and it might make things easier for sponsorship when they see how the Nationals is actually run, and that people do take the sport seriously, and it's not just something that happens in bars.
What do you worry about first? Trying to get the Nationals, or thinking about sponsors, and then saying, hey, I want the Nationals because I could have this such and such sponsor? What comes first?
When I did it, I basically put the bid in for the Nationals, and then worried about my sponsors. So it was probably not what I should have done, but it's very tough to get somebody to give you money for something that might happen. So I figured that I would worry about it later, and if I have to be out of pocket for some of the money, then so be it.
So in order to put on a proper Nationals, how much time do you need?
A lot. I would say a year at least in order to raise enough money for the tournament. You need a lot of good volunteers, especially for driving back. No matter where you're from, you need shuttles running back and forth from the airport to the hotel. And you got to raise a lot of sponsorship money. Like you need that time in there, because you're going to get a lot of people that say no. It's very time consuming.
Is it better?
Everything from the smallest details of who's going to run your weigh-ins to how you're going to get your arm wrestling tables here and where you're going to get them from, because they have to meet certain standards, and you might not have 3 or 4 identical arm wrestling tables that are to spec at your disposal. So I had to order mine. Mine came all the way from Poland, and I ordered them a year ago, and they got here Friday morning before the tournament.
Does the average arm wrestler in Canada realize how important it is for their sport and their Canadian sport of arm wrestling to show up and support the Nationals?
Does the average arm wrestler realize that?
Yeah.
I don't know if they do. A lot of the new guys, we're getting a lot more new guys coming to the Nationals, which is great, but I can think of a lot of guys that could have really done something here and didn't show up for whatever personal reasons they may have, but it is incredibly important. We have to keep our numbers up. If we want to be taken seriously as a sport, the numbers have to be there.
If arm wrestlers don't show up in large quantities, and I know there's a lot of Canadian arm wrestlers,
yeah,
people like you are not going to be willing to put that kind of risk. You go through all that time and consideration and stress. You have to have people show up. How do you know people are going to show up? What happens if nobody shows up? Is that a fear in your mind? I'd be scared.
For the Nationals, that's something I wasn't worried about at all. Because I know most of the arm wrestlers. And when they say to me that they'll be here, then I know they'll be here. And everyone that said that to me was here.
So now it comes to the tournament, and it happened, and how do you feel now that it's over?
Relieved. I think the tournament went extremely well. I'm happy with everything that happened today. The John Miazdick Award, it says right on the trophy, it's for dedication in the sport of arm wrestling, but it's decided by the arm wrestlers by ballot when they weigh in, and it's for the person that's done the most for the sport over the past year, whether they be in whatever capacity, scorekeeping, refereeing, arm wrestling. So it's quite an honor to receive that.
So the fact that you did get that, that must mean that the arm wrestlers that we showed up here today, they do recognize that you put your ass on line in a sense.
I think that anybody could do it if they really wanted to. Therein lies the problem. Most people don't want to go through all that, have it consume their life for that long. It's pretty, I won't say it's a thankless job, because I've received thanks many times over the weekend. It's very time consuming, and it's something that actually makes everything else in your life go on hold for a while, especially in the last month leading up to the event.
Some other this is going to be on ARMTV, and everyone's going to watch it. And if there's some other arm wrestler who does want to step up and take this job for their own association, not necessarily you or this country, but just anyone in the world, what are some things they should, what are some of the mistakes you may have made that you could help somebody avoid? Is there something you got to watch out for? Is it the first things you should do? Is there 5 important steps to putting on a nationals event?
I will just say, make sure you have lots of volunteers that are there because they really want to be there and help, which I had lots of. And don't procrastinate. Make sure you have everything lined up well ahead of time.
One more question. How do you prepare for nationals, organize it, and still arm wrestle in it as a competitor? And
I don't know.
And become national champion at that?
I don't know. I was a little tired, but...
Were you able to train in the last month or do anything to prepare for this? Or?
It probably affected my training the last couple of weeks. But I think the main thing was, you know, sometimes it'll help you if you're busy, so busy doing something that you can't think about or get worried about competing. It was much like that at the Worlds when I was team captain. I was always running around doing something. Keeps your mind off the competition until you actually get called. And either you're ready in that moment or you're not.
Is there an arm wrestler, either Canadian or otherwise, that you kind of set yourself as a goal that you'd like to compete against someday or look up to? Or?
I'm looking for a match with Travis Badgett in the left arm.
Travis Badgett. I would like to see that. I would definitely like to see that. So I've been told I've just been told recently that you're going to have a baby.
Yes.
Congratulations. This is
Thank
your
you.
first?
Yes.
That is going to be a bigger job than putting on the nationals.
Well, my wife tells me that after doing this, the baby will be easy, but I think it won't, I don't think that'll be the case at all.
Get used to sleepless nights. Other than being a father, what's the next step for Ryan Espey in Manitoba arm wrestling?
As far as the arm wrestling in Manitoba, as far as the association is concerned, I want to spend time building up the sport on a smaller level here in Manitoba and getting a stronger team. Me as a competitor, I would like to get down to the States a few times this year, hit some of the bigger pro tournaments. We'll see what happens.